I'm Lisa. I'm a classical Pilates teacher teaching here at Pilates Nelson, and today I'll take you through a basic/intermediate classical mat sequence. So with the classical work we follow a sequence of exercises. That sequence doesn't change, but as you progress you challenge the exercises and you add more exercises in. So we'll get started. We'll do a little warm-up as well before we actually start the official sequence. So a pillow is helpful. It's quite nice to support your neck. Also, when you're doing the curl-ups, it kind of gives you a head start. So you can work into your abdominals straight away. So I like to use a pillow. Grab one if you want one. And just lower yourself down onto your mat with control. Alright, when you've arrived, do just make sure that you haven't arrived a bit scrunched up. Sometimes we kind of arrive on the mat and our hips could do with being a little bit longer on the mat. So you could lift up your hips and just take them a little bit further away from your ribs. And then if you take your hands and put them on your rib cage, we're just going to do some breathing. So with your fingers facing in toward one another, take a big breath in through the nose, fill up your lungs. And with an exhale, just melt everything down into the mat. So your shoulders are melting, your ribs and your pelvis. Take another big breath in through the nose. And exhale again, just melting everything down, trying to release tension, finding length in the back of the neck. One more time, big breath in. And exhale. Again, just melting down, feeling the weight of the lowest ribs and the hips into the mat. Now I'll take a breath, inhale. When you exhale, feel how the ribs close down toward one another and you feel your fingers reaching towards one another on the exhale. When you breathe in now, keep a little bit of pressure down on your ribs and try and breathe through your side waist and your back ribs. So breathing in without letting the front ribs flare up. And exhale again, just melting down, letting those fingers come towards one another. Inhale through the side ribs, the back ribs. And exhale. 2 more times. So avoiding the chest rising, avoiding the ribs rising, finding more space in our side ribs, our back ribs. And one more time, big breath in. And exhale. Melt it down. Alright, so we want the ribs, the front ribs, to stay intact. We don't want them flaring out as we're doing our work. So just something to focus on there. And if you bring your hands lower down now, you can make a diamond shape with your hands where your forefingers are coming together and your thumbs are coming together. And just there, the outside of your hands will be at the hips. So your forefingers will be down near your pubic bone and the thumbs will be up by your belly button. Take another breath in without the ribs or the chest rising up too much. And then with the exhale, you're going to find those deep low abdominal muscles and pull them in and pull them up. So you'll zip them up, the ribs are relaxing down, and you're finding that center. Big breath in. On your exhale, pull into those deep abdominal muscles, pull them to the back of the spine, pull them up behind the rib cage. And one last time, inhale and exhale. Sometimes we call it a scoop. You pull in the abdominals and up the abdominals. So you're zipping right up into the center. So with this staying nice and steady and strong now, with our abdominal connection, we'll just take some knee folds. You can keep your hands in that diamond shape. Just rest your elbows down so your shoulders can relax. So with the knee folds, bring one knee up just above your hip and place it back down again. Try and keep the angle of the knee the same. So the other leg will come up and it will come back down. So just alternating legs, and what we're trying to do here is really keep the hips and the ribs very still. The bit that's the difficult part is the changing of the legs. So when the leg comes down, this is really where you have to pull deep into your center to pick up the other leg. It comes down, you're scooping in and up so you don't lose that connection. And when you're changing legs, you really have to work that connection so the hips stay stable and the lower ribs on the mat, they don't wobble off either. So just changing the legs here. You can reach your arms down into the mat. Use your arms to stabilize yourself. Okay. So the next time you've got a leg up in your knee fold, maybe take your hands back just to make that diamond shape again on your abdominals. So the next challenge here is find that scoop in and up and then pick up the other leg. So quite often what the abdominals want to do is they want to brace and they want to pop themselves out. But our job is to make sure they're pulling in and they're protecting our spine. That's where we want them to be, drawing into our lower back. So bring your first leg down and bring your second leg down. Now this is hard work, so you can carry on with your alternate or you challenge yourself with this one if you're ready. So bring the leg up. Here, just take that moment because you really do need to focus on that pulling in of the abdominals into your lower back to pick up the other leg. You bring the first one down. You bring the second one down. Now, if you feel those abdominals poking up, use your hands, give that little bit of pressure and make sure that the abdominals are pulling away from those fingers. Feel the abdominals reach away from those fingers. Good. The left one comes down and then the next one. And change. Always take that moment, make sure you're connected, pick up the leg, bring it down, bring it down. Good, so that's something to practice and it's a really nice one to do before you do your workout because it really does connect your mind to your abdominals and it really does expose when you're not using them properly. So it's a great way to practice that pulling in and up, that scooping that we talk about. And that's what we use to keep ourselves nice and still. So we will do some neck curls here. So you reach your arms long by your side. Our work is to keep the hips square and stable. Your chin comes to the chest and you just curl on up and look at your abdominal muscles. Now your hips may have wanted to hitch up here. So try and relax them back down again. And it's just the abdominals that are scooping in and up. And then roll yourself back down again. Have a big breath in. Reach through the arms. Exhale as you come up. Keep an eye on your pelvis that it isn't shifting up to meet you. Pull the abdominals in deeper and see if you can lift a little higher. And then roll back down again. Inhale here. Reach through the arms and exhale. Try and lift yourself up a little deeper. A little higher and lower back down. And 2 more times. Inhale, exhale. Just up on the tips of the shoulder blades. Roll on down. And final one. Breathe in, breathe out, curl up, anchor your pelvis. And then lower back down. So we'll do an exercise called the 100. This is the first exercise in the sequence. It is an exercise to really invigorate the body, pumping the arms to get the circulation around the body and breathing to get these good oxygen running through our body as well. So we do the same. You chin to the chest, you roll on up just as you were. Hips anchored, start pumping your arms up and down without moving around. So just your arms pump up and down. Breathe in for 5 pumps. 4, 5, breathe out for 5 pumps. 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In through the nose and exhale. Try and scoop into your abdominals, reaching through the arms. Inhale. Exhale, curl right up onto those shoulder blades. In, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 more sets. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. And out, 2, 3, 4, 5. And roll yourself all the way down with control. So hug your knees into your chest. When you hug your knees in, either you can hold behind the thighs, or if you can, you hold onto the ankles and draw them into you. So a light pressure down, pull them in, and you want your shoulders, your knees just there, reaching towards your shoulders. Knees open, feet together. Tuck your head up through, up between your knees, and again, a nice big stretch there. Then take your hands behind your thighs. We're going to rock up, so you'll press your thighs into your hands, feet down into the mat to rock on up. For half, roll back. So here, your legs will be together, feet, knees, and also sit bones squeezing together. The further your feet are away from your bottom, a little the easier it will be. So you choose your level. Ultimately, we will be right up here with our feet by our bottom. But let's start a little further out. So nice and tall. Really lift yourself nice and tall and just draw up your head down without any sinking in your torso. So your abdominals are lifting in and up and you're lengthening the head down towards the knees. So those deep low abdominal muscles, you're going to pull them back and roll through your pelvis until your arms are straight, or as far as you can go. Keep your legs squeezing together, and then you'll curl up. So pull deep into your abdominals, bringing your head to your knees, and then sit up nice and tall again. Lift with an inhale, drop your head down, and then exhale, pull deep into the abdominals, and you're rolling through the pelvis, legs together. And so watch you're not pushing out through your shoulders, it's your lower back that you're rolling through. Inhale here, and exhale, scoop in and up and over, head to your knees. Sit up nice and tall, big breath in, head down, roll through, pull back the abdominals, breathe all your air out. Inhale here. Hold nice and still. Exhale. Scoop in and up. Head to your knees. One last time. Inhale, tall. Head down. Exhale, roll back. All the way back. Inhale, hold. Exhale, scoop into the abdominals. Head towards the knees. And roll up nice and tall. So we'll use our roll down to come back down onto our backs on the mat. So the same, nice and tall, you roll through the lower back and then allow the hands to creep down the legs. Keep squeezing those legs together and roll yourself all the way down with control. And then you'll hug your knees back in again. So the same hug, you'll hold onto your shins and draw your knees towards your shoulders. Just watch that your bottom doesn't lift off here. So the hip bones are going to stay on the mat and you'll draw your knees in towards your shoulders. Okay, so one leg circles. Just put your left leg down. Make sure the foot arrives in line with the hip, and the right leg will come to the ceiling. So again, the hips are long on the mat. Watch that you're not hitching your bottom up off the mat. Hold behind the thigh and just give it a nice stretch. Try and straighten your leg if you can. You can push through your heel, but very important to keep the anchoring in the hip. So your leg really is down into that hip socket, hips down on the mat. And you can pull a little deeper if it feels fine, and then point and flex your foot 3 times. And let's do ankle circles. So circle around 3 times. Try and get the full range of motion through the ankle, and then reverse. Okay, good. And we'll just cross over the leg. If you externally rotate your leg and your hip, meaning your knee and your foot will slightly rotate out or face out, and then crossing the body. So support your leg and cross it over. So the heel of that foot is now on top of the opposite hip. That's it. And then bring it back again. And then cross over, keeping the knee slightly facing out. Again, this anchoring of the leg down in the hip. And then out. And one last time, cross it over. And then in. Good. And just hug it in. Give it a little squeeze there again. Knee open towards the shoulder. Not too wide. Literally just the shoulder. The bony bit here we've got on the front of our shoulder. All right. The leg's going to go back up. Reach your arms down by your side. Objective is to keep the hips nice and still as we do our leg circles. Let's first make a triangle. So the crossover we just did. And then take the leg to the other knee. So the knee to knee there. And then come up. We're making a triangle, so you'll go to your right shoulder. Cross over to the left side, cross your body. Take the knee to the knee. And then up to the right shoulder. One more time, this triangle, over to the left, knee to knee. Up towards the right shoulder. And then center to reverse. Let's go right, knee to knee. Then crossing over in that stretch, rotating the leg in the hip socket. And then right, knee to knee. Up to the left, anchoring through the hips. One last time, right, knee to knee. To the left. And then center. Just hug it in. So they were triangles. We're aiming for circles, so we'll make it a little bit smoother now. Same leg, we'll do 3 in each direction again. Up it goes. So the left, you cross over, that remains the same, but now you make more of a circle down towards knee to knee. Circle around, up and in. Cross, circle around, knee to knee. Finish your circle, come center. One last time. Just smoothing out the edges, creating that circle. And reverse. Using your abdominals to keep very still on the mat. Also watch that the standing leg, the foot on the left side, the hip on the left side is staying very still. Good. That's our 3. Hug your knee in. Let's change sides. Plant that right foot down. Give the left leg a good squeeze in. And we do this because we want to get this full flexion in our hip. So unless you've got a knee injury, then you should be good just to really pull it in and feel that nice juicy stretch on your hip. If you have got a knee issue, just hold onto your thigh and you won't go into a flexion in your knee. You should still be able to get it in your hip. So extending the leg up again. Get the hole behind the thigh and just have a stretch. You can reach through the heel, anchor the leg down into the hip, and then point and flex and really work the motion in your ankle. We've often got stiffness in our ankles, so it's good to get the full range of motion. Take it into circles around. Trying not to move the whole leg, literally just the ankle joint, which is not an easy thing to do. Just the ankle joint. That's right. One more time is 3. And then hug the knee in. Give it that nice squeeze again. Take the leg up. Support your leg and you'll cross over with an external rotation in the leg so the knee faces out. Make sure the leg is anchored into the hip. And it's okay to have a slight bend in the knee, that's fine. And then bring it back. And then cross it over. Take it back. Final one. Crossing, sitting down in that left hip. Alright, good. One last squeeze. Take it back up. Here's our triangles. We're going to do 3 of each. Reach your arms into the mat. Make sure they're useful. So push them down so they're holding you steady. And then cross to the right. Cross your body. Down knee to knee. Up to the left shoulder. And then across to the right. Knee to knee. Making this triangle. Up to the left. One last time in this direction. And then reverse. So go out wide. You've got your external rotation in your leg. Knee to knee. Up, crossover to the opposite shoulder and center. All the while, you have to keep your pelvis anchored down on the mat and keep it very still. All right, there's our triangles. Give your leg a squeeze. Let's do the circles. Same leg goes up. It's fine to soften the knee. The anchoring is the most important. We cross over the body. We make a circle around knee to knee now. You make a circle around to the outside to come center. Cross, circle, knee to knee, around and center. Good. This is your last one here. And then reverse. So the leg that's left on the mat, the foot, the knee, the hip should be staying very still. So make sure you're using your foot on the mat to keep that side nice and still. There's your 3. Bend your knees, bend both in now, give them a good hug. Hug, 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 squeeze. And then put your hands back behind your thighs. We're going to rock up again, tuck your head up between your knees, and then rock up and plant your feet. So now rolling like a ball. We won't do the rolling today, we'll just do the balance. If you take your hands on your ankles, if that's not available to you, you can put your hands on your thighs. Ankles if you can. You're going to just walk your feet close in towards your bottom. And with your feet down, try and lift yourself as tall as you possibly can. And then drop your head forward. Pull those low abdominals back. But it's not a sinking back at all. It's a lifted. And then abdominals just pull back to the spine. Now, you're going to go up onto your toes, pull deeper into your stomach and just tip back just a little bit behind your sit bones. And then pull deeper into your stomach and just pick the feet up and balance. Now, the shoulders might want to creep up here. So you squeeze your armpits down to your hips so your shoulders come way, way, way down from your ears. And then plant the feet back down again. So you first draw the feet in towards the bottom. If you've got a sticky mat, walk them in. Lift yourself tall. Drop your head. Keep an eye on those shoulders that they don't creep up. Then come up onto your toes. Pull deep into your stomach so you're behind your sit bones. And then feet pick up. And you're holding yourself steady, pulling deep into the abdominals to find that balance. And then plant the feet back down again. Final one, walk the feet in or slide them in, nice and close. Lift yourself tall, head down, shoulders down, stomach in and up. So it's very much a lifting up and over, up onto your toes, stomach pulls back and balance without changing the distance of your feet from your bottom. And then down. Very nice. Take the feet out further again for our roll down. So hands behind your thighs. Give your legs a good squeeze. Together they're strong. So squeeze them together. You're going to roll all the way down through your spine, all the way to the mat. So back into this, it's like a frog position where you've got your hands on your ankles, your feet are together, and you're drawing your knees towards your shoulders. So the abdominal series is next, and we'll just do a little prep for it here. The frogs. So you're pulling into your frog position with your heels together. Send your legs to the ceiling and then squeeze your thighs together. So the hands are on the thighs and you give them a squeeze. And then bend your knees. They're opening towards your shoulders. The hands come to the ankles and then grab them and pull them in. Pull them right in. And then squeeze your heels. Send your legs to the ceiling. Now squeeze your thighs, and you can give them a good push in with your hands. And then with your heels together, open your knees. The hands are coming down. They find your ankles and you pull in. Watch your heels don't go by your bottom. You're pulling your knees in towards your shoulders with your bottom down. And again, squeeze your heels, squeeze your thighs to the ceiling. Squeeze your heels, bend your knees to the shoulders. One more time, squeeze your heels, straighten your legs, squeeze your thighs. Squeeze your heels still as you bend your knees and hug it in. All right, so your right hand stays on the ankle, left hand on your shin. And again, if this isn't available to you, you hold behind the thigh. All right, outside hand to ankle. Hand that crosses over goes towards the knee. And that's so you can guide it into your shoulder. Take your left leg up to the ceiling as if you just frogged it up, lift it up, and then curl on up, chin to the chest and curl up and look at your stomach. Now this left leg can go out to a 45 degrees and maybe you can hug in your right knee more. Hips stay down. Now change legs. Outside hand to ankle. It grabs it, it pulls it in. The hand that crosses over the body is guiding it towards your shoulder. You reach the other leg as you squeeze that left leg in and then change. Pull your stomach in and up. So when your thigh comes in, you're pulling your stomach away from it. Good. And then change. There's a strong pull in, a strong squeeze, and a big reach in the opposite leg. Let's do one more set. Outside hand to ankle, you pull it in. Guide it to your shoulder. Change. Stomach pulls away from your thighs. And then bring both in that frog position. Lower your head down. So the double, we start in this position. So we're here. You bring your head up through the up to look at your stomach. Now, as we were doing earlier, both legs squeeze out and you can hold onto your thighs as we were earlier, just with your head up now, and then bend in and pull the legs back in. This time, send the legs out and lift your arms to the ceiling. And then pull it back in. Big breath in, reach through your arms, your legs, and pull your stomach back. And then exhale. 2 more times. Stay curled up. As your knees come in, watch that you don't fall back in your upper body. One last time. Reach out. Bend back in. And rest your head down. And you can rest your legs down. And look over your right shoulder. And look over your left shoulder. And there's always the option through those to keep your head down. If your leg's getting very sore, keep it down or place it down and then bring it back up until you get stronger and your neck doesn't take as much tension. So we'll do a little bit more on the abdominals. So if you take your hands and place them underneath your pelvis, you want it just so when you bring your knees in towards your chest, you can just about wiggle your fingers. That tends to be about the right place. So the legs go up to the ceiling. Just keep the head down. Heels together. The knees can be slightly apart or they can be straight. Is fine. You'll lower your legs for 3 counts, 2 counts, 1 count. Make sure you're maintaining it in your ribs. You pull it up. 2, 1. So no flary ribs. Reaching the legs down. Stomach pulls back. And reach further and come back up. 3, 2, and 1. And lower. 3, 2, 1. And lift. 3, 2, 1. There's always an option to lift your head. If you lift your head, you may go a little further. Up. 2, 1. Last one. Squeeze your inner thighs together so your legs are strong as 1. And curl up. 2, 1. And bend the knees. Release your arms and bring your feet back down. So another rock up. The knees come in, hands behind your thighs. Tuck your head up and rock up with control. So spine stretch forward. You can sit on your pillow, if you find that when you sit here with your legs out long in front of you, that you fall back in your lower back a little bit, it's good to be propped up on a pillow, and it will help you lift out your lower back. So feel free to grab that. Alright, so the legs are just at the width of your mat. And you want to sit up as tall as you possibly can. So the vertebrae are just lifting up like there's an imaginary wall behind you. You're using that strong scoop of your stomach to find that lift. And the arms come up at shoulder height. Watch again that the shoulders haven't crept up, that you'll roll your shoulders back and down. Give your armpits a good squeeze down towards your hips. And then with this lift, you drop your head forward. There's no sinking. You can actually find more abdominals as the head drops down, more lift. And then stretch your arms forward as you roll into yourself. So nose is rolling towards the belly button. Head is coming down between the knees. Breathe all your air out. Then from your abdominals, roll up your spine. Roll up the mid-back, all the way through the mid-back, through the upper back, the long back of the neck, and then the head is last. Big breath, inhale, tall. Head comes down, lift more. And exhale, as the arms stretch forward, pull back your abdominals so you can roll into yourself. If you pull back your stomach, your ribs, you'll be able to increase the stretch in your spine. And then use your stomach to roll back up. Like there's an imaginary wall behind you, grow tall up it. 2 more times, breath at the top, inhale. Lift, exhale, and over. Push through your heels. So if you send your toes towards your shins, reach through your heels, reach through your fingers, and pull back your stomach and your ribs. And then roll up. Nice and tall. And final one. Give your bottom a squeeze too as you drop the head, stomach lifts up, roll over, head to the knees, and then roll on up. And the arms come down, shrug your shoulders if they've taken some tension. And we'll do a little bit more balancing work. So if you pick your bottom up and bring it forward, and this one you can either hold on to the inside of the ankles or the outside of the ankles, whichever one suits you better is fine. Now, unlike the run like a bull, you don't have to have your feet so close to your bottom. You can have it further out from your bottom. But we still need to find the balance. So you can come up onto your toes and pull your stomach back. So you're sitting just behind your sit bones. Maybe you need to come in a little bit more. Alright, so the balance, if we keep our left foot down for now, staying hold of your right ankle, the knee is open and it stays there in space, and you just try and straighten the leg and then bend it back in. That foot comes down, so the knee is open already in line with the shoulder, and you try and straighten that leg and bring it back down. Now do make sure your chest is lifted, that you're not sinking into your upper back. So nice and tall still. Straighten your right leg, bring it back. Straighten your left leg, bring it back. So let's see if we can balance. Pull deep into your stomach and pick up your feet. You don't have to, you can keep doing this with your feet down. If you can, you balance. Same thing, stomach pulls back, chest stays open. And then bend, and the left, and bend, good. So really working the balance. And final one, abdominals pull back, chest up, nice and strong, and bend back in, and then plant the feet back down. So bringing your bottoms forward, another roll down. So give those legs a good squeeze. Roll all the way through your back with control. And we'll do a little bit of work on our stomachs. So roll on over. You don't need a pillow now, so just move that out of the way. And you'll come down with your hands one on top of the other and your head on your hands. So when you're here, you want to be nice and long. So really do try and relax and flatten yourself forward so you're not hunched up in your back. You're nice and long. And make sure that your hips are relaxed down into the mat. So you should feel those the bony bits on the front of the pelvis are down into the mat. All right, so when you're here, you can still find your abdominal connection. It doesn't change the pelvis as earlier, it's the same. You just pull your stomach up, the pelvis stays nice and steady, hips still down, and you lift your head with your arms, and it's only small. Hips down, stomach up, be nice and long as you float on up and float on down. So the hips are down. You can have your legs at hip width or together is fine. Stomach in and up. Lengthen as you float up. So from the crown of the head, reach out. Through the legs, reach out. And then lower down. 3 more times. Abdominals in and up, protect your lower back. Float on up, just the upper body. Lower down. And last 2, hips down, stomach up. Lift on up. Lower down. And final one, make sure your abdominals are up into your lower spine. And lower. All the way down. And then come onto bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Make sure your stomach's pulled up so you don't leave it hanging as you pick yourself up and sit back over your heels. And you can stretch your arms forward here. All right. Good. And then we'll come laying back onto our backs. So just turning yourself around. You can do another controlled roll down, staying center. Roll yourself all the way down. And when you're down here, again, you don't need a pillow for this one. Unless when you arrive and your chin really does, you feel that your chin or you're facing to the back of the room and that you can't quite get your back of your neck nice and straight, then you can use a small pillow, but you certainly don't want anything that's bringing your chin closer to your chest or closer than a nice straight back of the neck. So watch you're not crunching your chin into your chest at all. Because what we're doing here is having your feet at hip width apart with your arms nice and long, throat open, and just facing directly up to the ceiling. Press into the mat with your arms and your feet, especially your big toes, and lift up your hips. So if we had a pillow now, our chins would be jammed into our chest, and we don't want that. We want a long back of the neck. Use your bottom to lift your seat up as much as you can. Use your arms, use your feet, and then roll down through the whole spine all the way down. Down, 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 down. Good. And again, press into the mat with your arms, with the feet. Lift on up your hips. Give your bottom a good squeeze. Make sure the ribs stay intact. It's just your hips are lifting. And then roll on down. Let's do 2 more here. Pressing into the mat, roll on up. That's it. Watch your feet, your knees aren't opening. So imagine you've got a little ball between your legs, between your knees, and you're giving that little ball a squeeze to keep your legs tracking at parallel. One last time. Come on up. Press into the mat. And roll yourself down through every vertebrae, nice and long through the back of the neck, crown of the head, all the way down. Okay, so coming onto the side, with your mat, line your hips up with the back edge of the mat. You'll line your shoulders up with the back edge of the mat. If it's available to you, you'll support your head in your hands. If that's not possible, use your pillow, pop your pillow underneath, and you can put your hands in front like this. So if you can, supporting your head with your hands, go into a clam position. So feet are together in line with the back edge of the mat, knees are bent. Top hand can support you. So with your heels squeezing together, open the top knee. Just watch here that you don't let the top hip fall back. So a little bit, may tilt your hips forward and then squeeze shut. Let's do 8. Open and close. Squeeze the heels. Open from the hips. Good. Open and close. 4 more. And 3. And 2. Last 1. And then close the knees and pick up the feet. Both feet up, and we continue. We do 8 more. Heels squeeze together. Open and close. Squeeze open. So the heels, the more you can press into the heels, the more you'll work your bottom. Just what we want. 4, 3, 2, and 1. One last one. And the legs can come down. Bring them into a chair position so the knees in line with the hips, feet are still stacked. And then we'll continue, and you'll pick up the top leg. Watch the knee doesn't go lower than the foot at all. So parallel or the knee slightly more open, and squeeze shut. And open and shut. So we're really working the glutes here. So make sure your bottom's getting a good squeeze into the glute. Might be feeling a little bit warm right now. Just 3 more. And 2. And last one. And together. Good. Good for the hips, good for the glutes. Let's go to the other side. Again, you align your back up with the back edge of the mat. Supporting your head if you can, using a pillow, if that's better for you. Heels in line with bottom, in line with shoulders, in line with elbow if it's there. So heels together, 8 clams. Squeeze the heels and open. Again, watch your hip doesn't roll back. And close. And open. Good. That's 3. Another 5. So really working into the hips. Last 2 now. And 1. Legs together. Pick the feet up. Have them hovering in space, heels together, and continue with another 8. Always keeping those heels connected and squeezing. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then the legs come down. You bring them into a chair position here. So the knees in line with the hips, feet in line with the knees. And then pick the leg up, watching the knee doesn't drop below the foot. We've got another 8. Giving your bottom a good squeeze. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Good, nice, good work. Alright, so just finishing up here, you're going to bring your legs around, feet in line with the hips. It's like the half roll back here. We're going to just make it a little bit more challenging. So with the legs squeezing together, squeeze your legs together and extend one leg. Keep your hands on the back of your thighs, use your stomach and roll back. Look at your stomach and roll up. Good, and then lift nice and tall. Head comes down to look at your stomach. Use your abdominals to roll back. Try and keep your legs nice and still. Roll up, sit nice and tall. Final one, head down, roll back. And roll up. Nice and tall, bend that knee. Squeezing the legs together, extend your left leg. Head comes down, abdominals pull back. roll back, head to the knee, roll up, nice and tall, look down, scoop in, roll back. And you make this as small as you need to keep those legs nice and still. Roll up, nice and tall, and bend. And we'll just finish standing. So just bring yourself to standing here, bringing your heels together and your toes apart. Find a strong wrap in your legs, so your inner thighs squeeze together and your sit bones are squeezing together. Arms just reaching by your side. Just drop the chin to the chest. We know now that there's no sinking feeling when we do this. There's a stronger lift in the abdominals. Arms are just going to hang as you roll into yourself again. So nose rolling into belly button. It's absolutely fine if you want to bend your knees. As the arms hang and the head hangs, pull your abdominals in and up, pull the ribs back, and then circle your arms, just hanging them in your shoulder sockets. And then reverse your circles. And then use your abdominal muscles and roll up through the spine. Find the inner thigh connection squeezing. Roll yourself up vertebrae by vertebrae. Head rises up. And we do it one last time. Big breath in. Drop your head. Lift up your abdominals. Let the arms hang. Keep those strong abdominals up into your lower back. Keep the ribs up and let the arms and the head hang. Bend your knees if you like. Circles 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Reverse 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And roll on up. Use your abdominals. Imagine there's a wall behind you and you're restacking your spine tall up against the wall. Head is the last thing to rise on up. You can give your shoulders a shrug here. And reverse. Good. And you're done. Well done. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that. And see you again with another video soon. Thank you.